engine for our country to transform.
The Japan royalties deal will soon go through another parliamentary process following a review by the Attorney General and some stakeholder meetings. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta insists the deal is the only way to reduce Ghana's debt levies and levels and make it more equitable. This is a report by George Queenan.
The Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, justified the critical role of the transaction in transforming Ghana's economy.
Few stakeholder meetings. I think the new board should be energized to review that and then go through the parliamentary process. I'm unequivocal that it is the way to go in terms of monetizing minerals. And finding a way to reduce the level of debt that the country has and move into equity.
Chief Executive Officer of the Minerals Income Investment Fund, Edward Nanaya Krantin, was emphatic the transaction will not have any impact on Ghana's debt situation.
Currently, we have about just 10% carried interest in most of these global mining firms. And if you have a company that we own that is able to claw back some of these shares, I think we'll be sitting pretty over a period of time.
He said concerns raised by civil society organizations will be taken into consideration.
I believe there's consensus that MIF is good for Ghana, and we should support this. I believe that when the full picture and the architecture comes out, we'll get the support of all Ghanaians in Parliament as well.
The Japan royalties deal was suspended in 2020 following agitations by some civil society organizations insisting it was not in the country's interest.
We from that government payroll is.
Well, it's exactly 8 minutes past 4 here in the studios of Radio Gold 90.5 FM. And a big thank you for making time to join us on the NDC Pro Forum for today. My name is Sena. Nombo show is produced in the house by Richard Kwanzaa. Let me say a big thank you to Richard Ahnija Comrade and also to Emmanuel Owusu, who work on the production. Big thank you to NDC Pro Forum UK and US who are bringing you this show. Of course, we have the two chairmen of NDC Pro Forum and US, both online today, joining us, Conrad Dubai and Arnold Apia, join us respectively. But like I like to do, let me start by welcoming someone who hasn't been on the show, first time on the show, Solomon Yemidi, who is also joining us for the first time. I hope I got your name right, sir. And good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you also.
So I got the name right, Solomon Yemidi.
Yeah, Solomon Yemidi.
Yemidi, okay. Solomon Yemidi is a lecturer at Ho Technical University. Thank you. It's a pleasure having you on the show. Of those e-blocks that people have to contribute and finish yourself if you are desperate to have it opened.
You don't have money, who yet?
Well, I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you. But before that, let me say hi to first Conrad Domba. Good evening to you. Conrad is bereaved. He's lost a chairman, a former chairman of NDC UK. Conrad, hi.
Hello, Sena, and good evening to all our cherished listeners. You are right. Bereaved in the sense we lost our former chairman for NDC Milton Keynes branch. The first branch set up in the UK. He was a founding member of the branch and a strong pillar of the party in the person of the late Mr. Peter Kumedi. So we are currently in mourning mode and will be laying him to rest this Friday. So we ask that all comrades listening and those who hear of it pray for the peaceful repose of his soul in the bosom of our Lord. And those who can join, come down to Milton Keynes. Let's give him the befitting departure.
And the way you say it, when is this burial happening?
So a burial and the funeral mass and burial will be on this coming Friday, 29th October in Milton Keynes. And there will be a Thanksgiving mass on Sunday, the 31st of October. So those in the UK, in and around Milton Keynes, you are invited to come celebrate the life of a fallen comrade, a hero, and one who did a lot to project the NDC in the UK.
Well, I think we'll talk a bit more about him. Perhaps I would engage you a bit more in other programs. But our condolences to you and to everybody, especially NDC Milton Keynes. You said he's the founding chairman?
He is the founding chairman of the NDC in Milton Keynes.
Okay. So we'll talk a bit more about him subsequently. So welcome. Nice to see you this evening. Another person who's also joined us, we haven't had him on since Madam Jigbadi passed on. I know the two of them were very, very close. I can tell. Arnold Apia is president NDC Prof from US. Arnold, it's wonderful to have you on the show today.
Yes, and thank you for having me. And my condolences to the NDC fraternity in UK. It's quite unfortunate to lose a comrade, especially at this moment. We lost Jigbadi a couple of weeks ago, and hearing this one, it's heartbreaking. So my condolences to the family and the entire NDC fraternity.
I think it was earlier on that Richard was asking me what's happening in terms of Jigbadi. I'm guessing what the plan is. What is the plan?
Well, basically, we are done with everything. He was laid to rest. She was laid to rest. That was 2 weeks ago. Joined via Zoom because she stated that she did as well. So we joined and we paid our last respect to her. Madam Jigbadi was someone who was very, passionate about humanity in general. She was very concerned with Volta region. She contributed immensely, in her own private capacity, helping students with, financial support, being there for, the vulnerable. She supported women, old age, etc. She was actually in Ghana some year past, seeking to help the richest camp, or whatever the name is, through Ministry of Women and Welfare. I'm not too sure of the name, So she's been an advocate for, the welfare of humanity. Let me put it that way. And it was really manifested, during her burial and the aftermath. Comments from, her former workplace, Wisconsin University. The students spoke highly of her, and I received a lot of comments, from Ghanaians in Wisconsin saying that they didn't even know her till these students started talking about, how great she was and how she helped changed, the lives of many in Wisconsin University. So we actually lost a great person, and I pray that the good Lord will keep her safe and grant her the peace that she deserves till eternity. So yes.
So buried 2 weeks ago. May I so rest in peace. Thank you, Arnold, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
It's wonderful to have Arnold and Coran on the show. But let me. Okay, so I think, Arnold, I'll stay on you. Let me stay on you on this matter. It is advertised as the last topic, but the arguments he made about it, his only response was not to give an account of what is being done to put it to work. What he has essentially said is to say that President Mahama erected the roof before building the house, to say that they got their things wrong. But let me start with the Aflao issue. Do you share in the views of those who said the president shouldn't have responded in that manner to the chief of Aflao, Togbe Amenyafiti?
Well, let me greet the listeners of Radio Gold, and let me say that I was, astonished to hear the president say what he said, primarily because I thought that he may have learned some lessons, after being a president for 5 years. His attitude would have changed and be more presidential. His mindset would have been more progressive in acknowledging that he holds the heart and soul and the destiny of Ghana in his hands. And therefore, every action that he makes, would have consequences. It is something that is to bear good fruit for the progress of Ghana. But the way he spoke, for a second, I had to take a chill pill and ask myself, is this the president of Ghana or someone, sitting in a blue kiosk having a good time? Because it didn't sound presidential. No rational president will speak that way. No rational president would even have that mindset, especially at this critical moment in the world where you have the pandemic and other things going on. People are more sensitive in addressing the needs of their people. But I watched this short video where they were having a champagne conversation. And, what even amazed me most was, what's his name? Kwame Sefakai. I said to myself that they don't appear to be two serious people, discussing the issues of Ghana, because they are very critical issues in Ghana. And for that matter, your demeanor, your approach, and how you tackle, the concerns itself speak volume of your level of seriousness in dealing with the issues of Ghana. I have watched series of interviews of journalists with presidents, both past and current, and you could tell that they pose tough questions. They don't sit there, they don't smile, they don't pretend as if all is well, and have some tea and walk away. So I was just looking at Kwame Sefakai's demeanor and how excited he was of that irresponsible comments that President Akufo-Addo made, and I said to myself that these are two friends who have decided to meet at a radio station and just have fun, because nothing showed that they were there to do business in the name of Ghana. So for me, Kwame Sefakai has been a great disappointment, that he had every opportunity to speak on behalf of Ghanaians, to express the concerns of Ghanaians to the president, if he doesn't have his ears on the ground. And unfortunately, I don't know if he sold his soul to that of the president and the NPP, that he forgot his ethics, the essence of why he was in that seat, and decided to go on that play mantis, with the president. But most importantly, Sena, the mindset of the president. This is a man who claims that he was coming to ensure that the future generation does have a future, that they would have the knowledge, those who has ideals and means well for the people. You could tell by the way he does things. 5 years in government, 5 years in government, and you still have uncompleted school buildings that would help your own so-called policy of free SHS. And a chief, a custodian of the land, a key, his subject or his people, the children are not having access to quality